So here comes the field down through the Serpentine. Here comes the field. We're looking for a green flag indicating a start. We don't have it. Yeah, we have it. Now we are racing. And Chris Zappa immediately jumps into second place. He started where? Third maybe or fourth? Yeah. So Chris Kowalik jumps into the lead, but Chris Zappa comes from somewhere in the top four to slip into second in that black Datsun 240Z.
Yeah, Chris Zappa in the number 44. 240Z.
So it's Chris Kowalik up front in car 83, the 914-6. Chris Zappa in second in car 44. Car 44 is Chris Zappa's Datsun 240Z. And running third, car number 9, Todd Hahn in the Porsche 914-6. The top three at the moment. Fast lap, as you might expect, set by your leader, Chris Kowalik, a 2:14 flat. He just went a little quicker this time, but Chris Zappa actually just now has the fast lap, a 2:13.6. So Chris Zapp is about a second and a half behind.
On Todd Hahn there. Looks like it's between the two of them.
So the other Datsun 240Z is Matthew Cooley, car number 31, the silver Datsun. Nice sound, I think, that comes out of those Jaguar inline sixes.
He's referring to which Patterson is it driving the? That's Alan's son.
This is Alan third, I believe.
think
Oh no, this is Spencer. Pardon
Spencer
me.
Patterson.
Spencer.
Yeah. So at least three Pattersons.
Yeah.
From the family.
Yep.
Driving different steeds.
So Chris Kowalik now sets the fast lap, and I think this is an issue that he had last week at pit race. We're talking about Chris Zappa. I think he can't get it in gear. They had a shift linkage issue. They were playing with it all weekend. It's a shame because it's a very well prepared and rather quick car.
Having had the privilege of driving a 510 owned by Schaefer's, we used to use the best Z-type transmissions in the 510, and they would break, even on their four-cylinder. So there's a Ford gearbox that is very similar. That's the hot setup, I think, for those cars. But again, the amount of power they're putting it out is really hard on the gearboxes in those cars.
Well, again, I don't know whether it's an internal issue, but I believe that Mike Zappa told me last weekend that it was essentially in the linkage, somewhere between the shift lever and the box.
That's a heartbreaker. hefty lead over the second place car, second place Porsche 914 driven by Todd Hahn, number 9. And then still quite a ways back, but a lot closer is Patrick Ross in the 991 Z car, the blue and yellow one. Those are your top 3 cars at this point after 5 laps. In the poster child Porsche 911, looking gorgeous. I envy Michael for being able to drive that car.
We're approaching the halfway point in this 30-minute race. Chris Kowalik still your leader, Todd Hahn in second, and Patrick Ross third in car 991, the Datsun 240Z. So the top 2 cars are running the way they ran in the Porsche Mark race earlier. Matthew Kuhl, who just passed us here in another Datsun Z car. Matthew Cooley, car 31, is running 4th, and then Rick Snyder is 5th in car number 5, the Porsche 914. Again, about half distance, 30-minute races, we're at 15 minutes. were watching Steve Limbert come by a few minutes ago. He's driving the green Porsche 914-6, car number 18. And he seemed to be having an issue with the car, perhaps shifting, couldn't find a gear, and then he finally did. So we'll see whether he is able to sort that out, and continue. Car number 18, Steve Limbert. He started 14th, and he's running about 14th actually now. Here's Mike Schindel, who pulls the white Porsche 911 car number 40 up into the pit. Mike Schindel. That's our poster car. A tribute to the great Brumos racing stable out of Jacksonville, Florida. And Mike's car is not a Brumos car, but he decorated it that way for us this year. Todd Hahn is running second in car number 9, the Porsche 914-6, and he looks very quick, but I tell you, he's more than 30 seconds behind the leader. So Chris Kowalik has just run away so far with this race. His last lap was a 2:19, and Todd's was a 2:24. So that's why he's running away from the field.
Probably one of the few close battles on the track right now where they're just all over each other. That's the Porsche and the two BMW.
Are good buddies. They're paddocked together, and of course they're both traveling around and racing a very similar car. Both of them have been doing it, I think, for quite a while.
Indeed. So they're the races within the races that are, and particularly between two good buddies racing real similar cars, and you know, that's what it's all about most times. There's always somebody out in the front, but if you can have somebody to run with, that makes it all the more joyful.
I should tip the hat to Adrian Hughes, who was always a part of that entourage. And Adrian's here this weekend, but she has now officially retired from racing, I understand. So Adrian had a long career in racing, I understand. Just read an article about her the other day in one of the vintage racing magazines, and she did a lot more than just come to Shenley Park and race old BMWs. But it's so wonderful to have her here. I'm sorry that we don't have her behind the wheel. About 8 minutes to go in this 30-minute race for production cars over 2 liters. And up front it's Porsche, Datsun, I believe. surprised that we don't have a Datsun 510 or two in this race group. I think it's fun to see the Datsun 510s go up against the BMW 2002s.
Yeah, of course, 510s came in 1600 and then 2-liter motors. Hardly anybody raced a 1600. The 2-liter was the one you want. The L20B, easy engine to make, well, not easy, nothing's easy, but a really good engine to make perform. Joe Malloy, our buddy,
Yep.
up in the paddock, was a wizard at doing that for me and George Schaefer for a number of years, and I gather they were running that car at pit race last weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, a lot of track time this weekend for our various race cars, and putting them under some stress, I think, with the temperatures here at Shenley Park as well.
It's not quite as hot as I thought they were. It's pretty toasty, and it's got to be tough on the cars and on the drivers.
Certainly on the drivers, yeah. Yeah. You know, we were running a Kastner Cup race last weekend, the All Triumph race, and we often talk about there was an East Coast bunch of Datsun driver or Triumph drivers out of Group 44. There's the West Coast group out of Kastner, and there also was an East Coast group of Datsun 240Z drivers, East Coast and West Coast. It's really fun to see the two coasts, you know, meet mano a mano there, and yeah, right. Bob Sharp's outfit up in Connecticut, I guess it was. And who was that on the West Coast? It was that was Pete Brock, right, on the West Coast, and. Well, I think of Bob Sharp as being the outfit, you know, and Paul Newman drove a Bob Sharp, a couple of Bob Sharp Datsun race cars.
The one that Schaefer has was driven by a guy named Peter Schwarzkopf, and it was a really trick car for its time. Doug Milliken did his master's thesis, and he became a famous chassis designer, and he did his master's thesis on that car. It was even written up in Road and Track at one time. And I remember when we had the car at the Glen one time, he was wandering through the pits, and Schaefer done a nice job restoring the car. I helped a little bit, and he had a little plaque saying, you know, Peter Schwarzkopf. And we were downtown, you know, doing the downtown parade. You know, the cars were all downtown, and Doug Milliken is there, and he sticks his head in because he's looking at it, and there's a bunch of things. He bangs his head on the roller. And he goes, "Who's the guy who owns this car? I want to talk to him." Yeah, that was a very special car. There was a lot of suspension tricks that he had developed that the factory immediately adopted.
In fact, they should have put him under contract immediately then.
You would have thought, yeah. But he became a quite well-known chassis and suspension designer.
We've only got a couple of laps remaining, I believe. So there's the one lap to go. sign that goes out to our race leader, Chris Kowalik, in the yellow Porsche 914-6, car number 83. He's the first to get the 1 to go sign. So he has started the last lap. Todd Hahn has not come by yet. Todd's a good, how far behind is he? He's more than 30 seconds behind, I believe, at this point. And then Patrick Ross is running third at the moment in car 991, the first of the Datsun 240Zs. And right behind is car number 31, the second of the Porsche, of the Datsun 240Zs.
They're out there running now. Yep.
And that's Matthew Cooley.
Mm-hmm. So they're showing the one lap.
Well, I think Spencer Patterson got the checkers first. That should make him feel pretty good. Here's your race winner. Oh no, this is second place. I guess Chris Kowalik already got the checkers. I wasn't looking, I guess. Did I make a point of trying to be conscious of where you are? I wasn't paying any attention to where you were before.
That's okay. I'm following. Set it up and I'll follow.
Well, if we're doing, this looks good. I'll try to make sure I'm aware of that.
You're good.
Oh, that's where it is.
It's a little like deja vu all over again, isn't it?
Just a little warmer. It was a great day. Wonderful.
Yeah, wow, 2 wins in one afternoon. That's not too bad. So Casey Kowalik won the Porsche race earlier, and now the over 2 liter production race. Same car, same driver.
Yeah, car worked perfectly. Very happy with the way everything went well today. Again, I really want to thank all the workers, everybody standing in all the corners, keeping an eye out for me. Really excited when you come through at the end.
Yeah.
Really excited to see all the fans and all the people that come out. And again, I still want to thank the PVGP people for the last 40 years. We put on a wonderful event that's like nothing else. So I look forward to next year.
I'm really glad to hear you mention the corner workers, because those folks are out in miserable weather, and they do it so that you can have fun, and they really appreciate when you mention them.
Yeah, well, when you're well over 80 miles an hour and you can't see where you're going, I really like the people in the white suits.
them, that's
I
right.
really want them there.
Yeah.
And they did a wonderful job. I would like to thank my wife and son for letting me come do this. And I want to thank my father for basically bringing me to the racetrack as a little kid and kind of culturing the development of driving the car myself.
For a lot of us, dads really kind of pointed us in a certain direction. Huh?
Most definitely. It's been wonderful.
Congratulations, Casey Kowalik, his second win of the afternoon. Todd, your second of the day.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. It's very clear I need a bigger motor. Or a heavier foot, one to two.
Well, the striking thing to me was when you came by, the car always looked fast. I mean, you looked really fast, but just, I don't know, Casey's got something special there.
I think so. I think my car needs to go on a diet, and I need to go on a diet and get bigger stones, I guess. It was, yeah, no, I love being here. You wait 364 years to come here. Or 364 days, I'm sorry, to come here to sit out in the heat, to boil your head off and run with these gentlemen and so forth and ladies. And I love Pittsburgh. You guys are great. I thank my incredibly lovely wife and my great mechanic and his wife. I could go on for a long time about this place. And congratulations to this gentleman. He drove a great race, I'm sure. I think I thought Zappa blew by me like I was standing still, which I knew he was. I told his dad I was going to see his taillights probably within the first turn, and that happened. So anyway, thank you.
Congratulations, you bet. Oh, we love to put on the race, and we love the show that you bring us. I appreciate it, Todd Hahn. And the mention of Zappa's car reminds me that the Zappa crew turns out these beautifully prepared cars. And they had 2 of them at pit race last weekend, and the Datsun had shift linkage issues, and I suspect that was the deal this weekend. But Patrick Rosner, I thought maybe you wanted to split the Porsches up front.
I'd love to, but hey, Porsche's the mark of the year. Great to see him running out front. Gave him everything I had.
It's great to see the Datsuns out there. There were several, I think 4 originally 240Zs in this race, and it's great to see them back on the track again. We'd love to have them here at Pittsburgh. It took a long time finally to welcome the Datsuns back.
It did, but the Datsuns love Pittsburgh as well. We'll be back for sure.
Maybe you'll be Mark of the Year one of these years.
I'd love to see that.
Congratulations. Get your Helltown up there. That's Patrick Ross. A very fine 3rd place in the production over 2 liter race. Thanks to Helltown Brewing. This is the Helltown Brewing Winner's Circle, and so as I mentioned earlier, this is purely amateur racing they pay a lot sometimes to go racing and to prepare their cars. They don't win anything except a very nice case of Helltown Brewing products as their thank you. But as somebody mentioned earlier today, at least it's a prize they can use. There's your podium. Production over 2. And how appropriate. Porsche Mark of the Year and Porsche 1-2 right up front.